Chapter 207, Buyout or Long-Term Authorization. Among the research results we reported, the first researcher is Zhu Tui, the second researcher is me, the third researcher is Liu Lan, and the fourth researcher is Liu Ren and the other volunteers. We have to split the one-time reward according to this ratio. Do you have any objections? Luo Shifeng asked. Director Luo, I have no objections, Liu Lan said. Mr. Luo, you just make the arrangements. Zhu Tui nodded. In that case, I'll talk about the ratio first. Then, if you have any objections, we can discuss it on the spot. Luo Shifeng first looked at Zhu Tui. As the number one researcher, Zhu Tui will receive 50% of the reward. The remaining researchers will share the other 50% of the rewards. Do you have any objections? Luo Shifeng's question was mainly directed at Liu Lan. Liu Lan shook her head, indicating that she had no objections. Zhu Tui did not express his opinion. He would first listen to Luo Shifeng's distribution plan. As for the remaining 50%, Liu Ren and the other 9 researchers will take 10%. Liu Lan, you will take 10%, and I will take the remaining 30%. How about that? Luo Shifeng asked Liu Lan. Liu Lan was overjoyed when she heard that she could enjoy 10% of the profits. Luo Shifeng was already very generous. If it was any other department, it would be normal for the third researcher to get 5%. Mr. Luo, you only got 30%. That's not too good, right? I'll split my 50% with you. Zhu Tui quickly expressed his opinion. This is the rule of research. We don't have so many empty promises when it comes to research. We receive the rewards according to contributions. Whoever contributed the most will get the most. You get 50%. This is what you deserve. Besides, this is what you need now. Luo Shifeng's last sentence warmed Zhu Tui's heart. Actually, Luo Shifeng still took care of him. After all, Zhu Tui was just a student. Luo Shifeng was the number one researcher on the same level as him. No one could find fault with him. Moreover, Zhu Tui would not be able to produce any results without Luo Shifeng. Our Wuxia Genetic Evolution College has always encouraged research, but because the reaction speed of the nerves has reached 10 milliseconds, public theory was that there is not much point in continuing to improve it. As a result, the overall value of our research results was not high. However, in the end, it would be recorded in history. We are all researchers who discovered the 8th reaction type genetic base point. There was a hint of excitement in Luo Shifeng's voice. To him, being recorded in history was the highest honor and reward. For this, our school will heavily reward our research team with 2 million in cash and 3,000 points of personal contribution points. Zhu Tui was stunned when he saw the rewards. So many! The cash reward of 2 million was within expectations. However, 3,000 contribution points was a high reward. The value of the contribution point was extremely high. According to Zhong Ziking, the average value could reach 1 to 1,500. The most important thing was that it was contribution points, not honorary contribution points. Contribution points could be counted into one's authority level. If this was concentrated on a single person, a low-grade level D rights would be guaranteed. Scientists and professors with research results had a high social status. This was how they came about. He had benefited all of humanity, so he would be directly rewarded with contribution points. In addition, the Wuxia Genetic Committee has also rewarded our research team with 3 million in cash and 5,000 contribution points as usual. Hearing Luo Shifeng's words, Liu Lan was overjoyed. She had only wanted to drink the soup with Zhu Tui and Luo Shifeng, but the soup made her feel full. According to the ratio, Liu Lan could get 500,000 yuans in cash and 800 contribution points. She might not be able to reach low-grade level D rights with 800 contribution points. She could definitely get a high-grade level E rights. Luo Shifeng actually had some opinions about Liu Lan. Moreover, Liu Lan was not too proactive when she was the first batch of people to try it out. However, she had taken a certain risk to create a path for the volunteers being the first batch of test subjects. She even did a lot of hard work in the process, so he gave her 10% of the loot. It could be considered as training. Zhu Tui was already amused. The benefits of this research invention exceeded his imagination. If he had 50% to himself, that would be 2.5 million in cash and 4,000 contribution points. Zhu Tui felt that he was rich again. Moreover, if he did not make a mistake in his calculations, he should be able to raise his authority level from low-grade level D to mid-grade level D. Putting aside the other benefits, he could save a sum of money by buying all kinds of elixirs. However, this was only the first reward announced by Luo Shifeng. In addition, the school has decided to hire Zhu Tui as a special researcher at the Neurology Research Center for 3 years based on his outstanding contribution in this research. During these 3 years, Zhu Tui will receive a special research allowance of 20,000 yuans per month. Luo Shifeng handed over a letter of appointment as he spoke. Zhu Tui received it happily. He did not care about being a special researcher. He was the happiest when he received 20,000 yuans every month. There was also a salary, including the 20,000 yuans that he had earned from the Research Institute number 14. Zhu Tui's salary had exceeded 40,000 yuans a month. He would earn 40,000 yuans every month. If he worked harder, he would be able to earn 1 million a year. He would be tall, rich, and handsome. Zhu Tui felt that a beautiful future was beckoning to him. Zhu Tui, you only have 3 years as a special researcher. After 3 years, you can apply to stay on campus and teach with this qualification alone. At that time, as long as you apply, I, Luo Shifeng, can guarantee that you will be able to stay in school. Luo Shifeng added. Zhu Tui was overjoyed. He could even stay in school to teach. Was this considered an advanced offer from the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College? Jobs that had status, future prospects, opportunities, income, and development were similar to the jobs offered by the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. Countless elites might not even be able to squeeze into a top-notch school to teach. Zhu Tui had already obtained the offer in advance. He felt that he was getting arrogant. Liu Lan, who was at the side, was already stunned when she heard about the matter of teaching in school. God knows how much she had suffered and how many nights she had endured to enter the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. Not only did her hair fall from staying up late, but she also felt that she had become shorter. Zhu Tui, on the other hand, was only a first-year student, yet he already had the opportunity to stay in school and teach. In an instant, Liu Lan was jealous. She was very jealous. Zhu Tui, there's one last question that I need you to decide on, Luo Shifeng said again. Go ahead, Mr. Luo. It's about the cost of opening up the newly discovered reaction type of the 8th genetic base point. For example, other people wanted to cultivate and activate the 8th reaction type genetic base point. Or organizations or groups like our school wanting to teach the students how to locate genetic base points. According to the rules, they had to pay a fee. You can understand it as a royalty fee. Are you planning to buy out the company or take the long-term authorization route? With that, Luo Shifeng handed over a document. There's basic information inside. Take a look first. The information was very detailed. Zhu Tui basically understood everything after reading it once. Buyout is to sell this research result directly to the Wuxia Genetic Committee at a fixed price. The Wuxia Genetic Committee would then authorize it to the public. Of course, regardless of whether the Wuxia Genetic Committee opened it to the public for free, or if they charged a high authorization fee, it would have nothing to do with Zhu Tui. The long-term authorization route was for Zhu Tui, the #1 researcher, to authorize the Wuxia Genetic Committee to use the research results. He would be able to participate in the pricing rights to a certain extent. The authorization fee would be split 50-50 between the Wuxia Genetic Committee and Zhu Tui. The authorization period was 20 years. The reason why the Wuxia Genetic Committee wanted 50% was that during the promotion and authorization process, all expenses and legal disputes would be resolved by the Wuxia Genetic Committee. It would save him a lot of trouble. 20 years later, this information would be released to the public for free. To be honest, Zhu Tui was already very happy with the reward from before. He was really surprised that there was a buyout or a long-term authorization share. He suddenly realized that doing research was quite profitable. However, he immediately reacted. It was only because Zhu Tui had the introspection that he could quickly produce results. If it were someone else, they would have invested a year or two and invested a lot of money. In the end, they might not have any results and would have lost everything. Mr. Luo, I don't understand this aspect. Can you give me some advice? Zhu Tui asked. Luo Shifeng pondered for a moment and slowly said, currently, the Wuxia Genetic Committee has offered you a buyout price of 5 million. That was basically the price. Most people only activated 3 to 5 reaction-type genetic base points. It was very rare for them to activate 6 genetic base points. After all, they did not have the ability to activate a complete genetic ability chain. Moreover, after one's reaction speed reaches 10 milliseconds, the benefits would be very small if they increased it further. Therefore, most people would invest their time and energy into other genetic base points. Therefore, there would not be many people who would choose to pay for the authorization in the future. However, those who would be elites. In this aspect, it's more advantageous for you to choose to buy out. However, at this point, Luo Shifeng paused and said, however, from your long-term development, it's better for you to choose long-term authorization. Due to the long-term authorization fee, you can decide to let the person who needs it pay for the authorization with contribution points. In the future, contribution points were far more important than cash. Moreover, even at my level, earning money was not too difficult. However, it was still very difficult to earn contribution points. Of course, it's hard to say which one will benefit the most in the end, Luo Shifeng said. After hearing Luo Shifeng's words, Zhu Tui made his choice without much thought. Zhu Tui had experienced Luo Shifeng's words for the past 2 days. There were many opportunities for powerful genetic newcomers to earn money as long as they were willing to suffer and take risks. However, contribution points were much harder to earn than money. Contribution points could be exchanged for money through the exchange of resources. However, there was no such method to exchange money or resources for contribution points. Mr. Luo, I choose long-term authorization. Luo Shifeng nodded slightly when he heard that. He gave Zhu Tun an approving look. Little Liu, according to the rules of the Genetic Committee, the long-term authorization only belongs to the main researcher, which is the #1 researcher. Do you understand? You understand. Liu Lan nodded desperately. Then, tonight, I'll treat everyone, including the volunteers, to celebrate. How about that? Luo Shifeng suggested. Liu Lan was the first to cheer. Zhu Tui agreed with both hands. Oh right, Mr. Luo, I have a question, Zhu Tui suddenly asked. Go on. Mr. Luo, can I continue to use the 24 mixed laser array launchers in your office to train in the future? Zhu Tui asked. Of course, anytime. I can't wait for you to come. Luo Shifeng smiled. Also, about the research center's equipment, can I? Kid, there are times that you're stupid. You are already a special researcher of our neurology research center. You have the right to use those scientific research equipment.